Hello, and welcome to a deep dive on the Arch of Hadrian, located in Athens, Greece. It stood on one of the central roads of the city and existed to portray both Hadrian and the Roman Empire's immense power over the Roman world. The monument is clearly inspired by Greek architecture, as most Roman work is, and was built using the Corinthian column style. This is an architectural style used in many Roman works, as they liked their decorative capitals. There are 4 columns sat atop a single open arch, and a triangular pediment sits atop the 4 columns. In ancient times, it is likely that a statue of Hadrian stood in between the 2 center columns atop the arch, though now it is an empty space that you can look straight through. It is a triumphal arch, meaning that it was built in commemoration of Hadrian's visit to the city of Athens and his contributions to the city, such as the completion of the temple of the Olympian Zeus. First, we will delve into the architectural style of the archway. The Arch of Hadrian was built using the Corinthian style of architecture, popular in the Roman Empire and known for its elaborate, over-the-top decorations. The capital, or top of the columns, display floral patterns, and the columns themselves are slim and covered with decoration. The Corinthian style initially emerged in the 4th century BC and displayed acanthus leaves on the capital, a native plant of the Mediterranean region. The Greeks were some of the first peoples to use these plants as a motif in their art, and the Romans copied them, as they did with most Greek art forms. The Romans often took Greek things and made them bigger and better, such as sculptures, architecture, and even warfare. Even today, many important buildings in the Western world are inspired by Roman architecture, and therefore by Greek styles. On the arch itself are inscriptions. On the side facing the Acropolis, where the temples of the city lie, it says, "This is Athens, the ancient city of Theseus." On the opposite side, facing the temple of the Olympian Zeus, the inscription reads, "This is the city of Hadrian, and not of Theseus." This implies a literal turn from the ways of old, the might of Athena and of Nike and of Poseidon, and a turn to the more victorious and oath-bearing Zeus, representing the might of the Roman Empire. It also demonstrates the change of the city from a Greek to a Roman establishment, emphasized by the naming of Theseus, the son of King Aegeus, and a past king of Athens. The inscriptions on the Arch of Hadrian also had a more literal meaning. The inscription saying, "This is the city of Hadrian and not of Theseus," faces a newly built urban center that was built by the Roman Empire, so it is literally referring to the Roman part of the city, which Theseus would not have ruled over. Now it is time to go into the why on the arch being built. The Arch of Hadrian was built in the 2nd century AD to commemorate a visit of Emperor Hadrian of the Roman Empire to Athens, Greece. The arch is considered a triumphal arch. A triumphal arch is a freestanding arch that is built in order to commemorate a significant event or honor a person. This makes sense considering that the arch was not only built to commemorate Emperor Hadrian's visit to Athens, but also his contributions to the city's growth during his reign. The arch represents not only the might of Hadrian himself, but also of the Roman Empire. The pediment of the arch sits atop the 4 Corinthian columns and depicted various mythological figures. On the east side was Dionysus, the god of theater and wine. This could imply that Hadrian held a love for the arts, or it could simply imply a love for wine, or perhaps both. It is known that Emperor Hadrian did, in fact, enjoy theater, even having an entire theater built in his villa. This is possibly why Dionysus, or Bacchus as he would have been known in the Roman Empire, was featured upon the pediment of the arch. At the peak of the pediment there is a vegetal acroterion, or a small peak featuring vegetation. This likely has no symbolic significance and was probably carved to match the Corinthian capitals. There likely would have been statues on the arch as well, and it has been proposed that the most likely figures for these statues would have been Theseus and Hadrian, due to the inscriptions carved on the archway itself. The Arch of Hadrian, although it looks just like another set of ruins, is significant in its portrayal of the might of the Roman Empire and the historical importance of both the ancient Greeks and the Romans. It shows the perseverance of Greek culture even through being conquered, and even still through the centuries to now. Ancient Greece truly holds the foundation of the modern Western world through architecture, science, and art.